lot about the platform today, what RefMap has created, etc., etc. And I want to show you a little bit what others think about this platform, not what the project people think about the platform, because we think it's great, but we need to ask the external people to know what their evaluation is. So the survey we took, there was an initial version of this survey. It was in an interview format. And in these interviews, which lasted 2 to 3 hours, it was, thank you for participating in it. It was quite intense, and there were not only closed questions, but also open-ended questions, where we really investigated what's important for the people. That was in the beginning of the project. So it was something between user requirements and MVP. The real goal was MVP, but since it was at the beginning of the project, we also managed to pass the feedback to the partners so that they integrate a little bit what the community expects into what they were developing. So we did 23 of these interviews. And then we had a survey. So the survey, the first version of the survey that we took had a very different, it looked very different. It was closed-ended and there was no demo there, but it was on a more refined, so first the people commented on the concept, okay, the concept of things. Then they commented on the tools, and now you are prioritizing features. So every step has a bigger, deeper depth. So this is a methodology that we followed. So you can see the sample, the numbers a little bit. And you can see also who were the participants of the first survey. We have not yet analyzed, well, we have analyzed the second one, but it's not in this presentation because the paper is still not published. So you see that's just the sample for the first part. And you can see that the 31% were people from the aviation industry and 30% were from academia. Very few were regulatory authorities and quite some were from the UAM industry. So you would say, okay, you're cheating academia, these are not real users. Well, they are. They're not users maybe, but they are also users because as you saw, the TRL level of the platform is quite low. And there are a lot of cross-disciplinary tools. So other academia, it's actually very important to communicate to other people in academia and other disciplines what we are doing and to listen to their opinion of what they want, because they are actually going to be the first ones who use it. And at the same time, they are validating that this academia thinks what the other academia thinks. The inside the project academia, the outside agree with the inside that what we do, they validate that what we say is correct, or they give us their opinion on what should be the course of action. So just a comment on that, because I was really thinking whether we should include them or not. But then this was the thinking behind our plan. So from the aviation industry now, we have a bit of a problem here. But you can see it's airports, air operators and airlines and aviation industry representatives from different suppliers of the airline. So it's not only the airline, the ecosystem is big. So they are coming from different versions. And in total we have 62 participants. Our goal is 165 now, okay, since we had 3 questionnaires answered in the previous session. Well, our goal is 100, and we believe that by January, we will reach this amount. I mean, with 62, we can also have great results, but, we're ambitious. So that's about the sample, so that you know a little bit who is saying what, because it's important. I have 2 sections in my presentation, so I'll address traditional aviation as one, and then the drones as one. And this is the general question that we were asking, how can aviation reduce its impact on public health and the environment? So we include not only the environment, we include the people in the environment, so public health is also important. And then we asked the same question in different ways, and you will see why. First, I will give you the immediate answer to this very big question, and that is what is the top 1 want per emphasized stakeholder in each question. So the top 1 want from all the things available in the platform is that the airlines would like to be able to evaluate flight paths by fuel use, emissions, navigation costs, and environmental impact. So not just one of them, not just two of them. They want all of this in one place. When we were asking the same kind of question, but we were emphasizing what's important for public health, what's their opinion about what's important for public health, the answer was to optimize flight paths to reduce air pollution and noise around airports. Different answer than the first one, but the question was almost the same. And then regulators, when we asked like what's important for regulating things, then they said calculate airport area air pollution based on flight paths and fuel type. Interesting. So it's kind of, like when you change the question, like a different priority emerges. And now you can see like the questions, these were the questions, more or less, with different scenarios analyzed, etc. But yeah, more or less you can see that these were the other available options that they did vote for them because almost all of them received like 80% importance, 80 plus, so from 80 to 90 something, 96, 94. So you just can see that what the other things are, and like noise comes like second, but combined with the reduced climate and air pollution. Third is the optimization of flight routes for the climate sensitive hotspots, like what Fatima was showing before her presentation. And at last, we have the assessment of environmental impacts in one dashboard. So what we can see is that people kind of prioritize more things in one view. So they want not just this or that effect, they want all the effects together. So this makes our work more difficult because you need to do deep research, but also combine with the other people. You cannot work alone, like you need to collaborate. And that's a challenge for everyone, projects, outside projects. But that is a conclusion, like an indirect conclusion we're drawing from what we're seeing from the answer. And then how can we reduce impacts on public health? Like, again, the same question in a different way. And you can see like the first answer that we already commented on, and these are the other available options. Map pollution sources, simulate how airport operations affect local pollution, simulate terminal area operations to assess fuel use emissions. And as you can see, some of them are like similar, but not the same, because there is a different set. It's like a combo. The combo is different. Like if you are at McDonald's and you have the different menus, like the best-selling menu is the first one. Like the others come second, third, etc. So this is how I like to us to think about it. And finally, create high-resolution maps of key pollutants using measurements and modeling comes last. So what do we see? Like we have pollution here, but we also find it here. So the thinking behind it is like, okay, you know what? I don't have either at the moment. At least give me the sources. And it's okay, you can do the high resolution later. So, priorities. So, then the third version of the question, how can regulators better manage aviation's footprint? And again, we can see that airport area, air pollution based on flight paths and fuel type is number one. So it seems that is the public opinion of our people who we asked, that is what we see. Maybe because it's more easy to regulate than the other things, so they can see like a more immediate impact from this, so they say, yeah, just go for that. Because like the whole aim of the questionnaire, we do tell them in the beginning, it's like for the MVP, right, to do a minimum viable product. So when tomorrow we don't have money from EU anymore, like what should we, what we should try to further develop and ask investments to further develop it, so to make it a reality. And you can see the other things, such as noise impact, near urban areas is important, identify regions where flying conditions affect emissions, calculate fuel use and emissions for different flight scenarios, and optimal flight routes come last, because I think that's the most difficult thing to do. So this is what I think from the results, my conclusions. So we go then to urban air mobility, and the main big question, the structure is the same. How can UAM enable safe and sustainable operations in populated areas? So not rural, not only environment, safety is also important. What do you prioritize? And these are the answers. So when we emphasize in the question that safe and low impact keyword. The answer was, I want a balance between social, economic, and environmental impacts. Like environmental only are not enough. Like I do want more jobs. I do want not only noise in poor areas, I want noise, limited noise everywhere. Like I want equity. Like that's important for our society in the 21st century. And then when we emphasize the essential goods delivery, so the goods, so it's not the goods, but like for health and like emergencies and things like that, so essential ones, then they say, okay, it's important, but limit the noise, because who knows what essential really is for you. So that's something like a drill we see in the question just after that. So again, this is a detailed question, how can we identify safe and low impact areas? And the first one we already commented. On the second spot, we had two coming like equally the same. They equally prioritize noise and visual pollution and wind. Wind is for safety, and the other two are for annoyance. So they say, okay, like they come really like the same percentage, and that was very surprising. And then we can see that third, it's noise again, but it's like estimates draw noise to find areas with less impact for operations. And we can see again, like, when noise is combined with visual pollutions, it scores higher. Like, it is preferred to the one that is like without the visual pollution. Okay? And then here, the first point is not something the platform offers, but because it was an open-ended question, this was like a very big conclusion. Like everyone was saying, let me just define what essential is for me, just to be on the same page. So we're like, okay, it's like for us, it means medical transport, so they really focused on the health aspect of the essential. So a mobile phone just to buy is not essential, it's like commercial, okay? So that's why it doesn't have a number, because it's not something the platform offers, it's just something that people really wanted to be on the same page with us, like what we mean by that. And then the following score as follows, like what we said, the noise-aware route planning, optimized last mile delivery using urban wind flow data, and finally wind data to identify turbulent airspace and improve air efficiency. So again, I think this is more difficult, this is a bit easier, so they go in the order of from easier to more difficult. This is from the general discussion, more or less what I commented in each question, like from the answers, but also some extras. Like we also asked them, so in general, what is important, like when we go and do a product out of it? And that's what they said. We want definitely the feature of optimized airspace and routing design. We do want the thing to be integrated, all the things together in one place. We do want environmental impact and monitoring, so to have everything in one dashboard just for the KPIs, possibly for policymakers. Health impact and predictive analytics. This is more difficult, but it's something like an ask, a want from the industry and the stakeholders. And of course, regulatory compliance and green certification, so to make things happen. And finally, early advantage in urban air aviation, so meaning that when I have the data as an operator and I know what the people don't want, I don't become this like not wanted business. So I do things properly and I'm accepted and I have an advantage. So that's the thinking behind what we were saying. So that wraps up my presentation.
Do you have any questions for Anna?
Yes.
Quick one.
Yes.
Because the airport in the survey,
Yes.
airports and airlines
Yes.
are the same group, right? In the category.
No. The first, look, the questions were much more detailed.
Yeah.
I grouped them here.
In
Yes.
this
Yes.
presentation, it was like more or less the
Oh.
same, right?
Yeah. στο πρώτο slide. Yes. Yes.
So it's airlines,
Yes.
or we can say that airports also
It was categorized as
airlines.
all together. No, all together. Airlines and airports, and then public health regulators. We didn't ask like for airports specifically. In reality, there was like there were scenarios, and then we described the scenario, and then airlines and airports, they were too close in the same scenario, so they were another. But it's a good tip. We can analyze them separately. But we had too few stakeholders from airports, we were like 2 or 3, so not enough to really break it down. Any other question? Yes.
Yeah, according to your report, is the after station, the development status now, whether to have a more specific overview on how RefMap is fitting these prioritized key points.
So RefMap has a grant agreement and it will deliver everything that they promised. So there is no effect on RefMap per se because the contract is signed with the Commission and we promised a lot of things and we will do them. Now, whether this is going to be something that will sell fast, that's another question, and that's the question I'm concerned with. So when no more EU funding is there, what should you bet on? Like, where should you put your money? And these are the answers, like what the users want.